Hey Jake, tell us about
Yo,
your out-of-state real estate.
oh, you want
Is
to talk
that
about that?
over? Is that over? Like, is it finalized? Have you sold off completely?
I have, but I still know people that are kind of, knees deep into this stuff.
How did you get into
Uh,
it in the first place?
I got started with real estate back in 2012. I was doing the whole local thing, and then
Hmm.
that was going well. And then it's one of those things. I guess I just got too curious, and then you always want to see if the grass is greener on the other side. So I joined a real estate forum. I should probably leave out the name if this is going to be recorded.
Yeah.
But just, real estate forum, and then you get these inputs from other people, and then, certain people are like, oh, I'm from California too, but it's too expensive here, so I'm going to go outside because, cash flow is more important than trying to buy expensive properties out here, and, you don't get the cash flow, and you're just kind of gambling on appreciation. So it was just a really different take from what I was doing locally. I didn't really know what the opportunities were like outside. In a way, it's like an example is if you only trade on the NYSE, and let's just say you're buying mining stocks there, and then somebody is like, you should go play juniors in Canada or Australia, and then you're like, maybe that's something worth thinking about because to be on the NYSE, they've got like certain rules. For one, you're not going to be a micro cap on there.
Yeah.
So maybe with real estate, I was thinking along those lines where, oh, it's just this whole new world of opportunity. So why am I limiting myself? Let's just see what it's like outside. So, you go out there, you meet the people. But, I mean, to be honest, when I look back, I mean, I was just so busy at the time. I was working full-time job, and your mind's on, like, work. So you don't really have the bandwidth to kind of do the research. So you make a quick trip out there. In hindsight, obviously, it's not enough data collection, and I wasn't talking to the right people anyway, so I really didn't know what I was doing out there. But when I was out there, everything looked good. It checked out, so then I just thought, I'd just try one or two and, have some more data points down the line, and then at a later date, I could probably determine what's the better methodology. I had no idea it was that bad. For me, I ran into like just a lot of problems. It was, across the board. It was property management. It was tenants. It was the city came after me. So um, it was just an impossible situation to get out of without losing a lot of money. So I'm not the only one though. I've actually heard horror stories that are a lot worse than mine, if you could believe it or not. Like just right now, I'm still probably not getting into too much details. I mean, for me, it came down to I'd rather just sell the property and lose my money because that saying, "Don't throw good money after bad," and that's exactly what this was. Because
Hmm.
the city was so difficult, they were basically saying your property has to be vacant and secure, which means you can't even rent it out until these violations are fixed. So you're getting estimates. They're like, oh, it might take like at minimum 12 months to 18 months to fix all your problems. So
Dang.
that means I have to carry a mortgage note for 12 or 18 months with no rent coming in because the city is not allowing me to rent out the unit, right? So you can see how this just gets from bad to worse, right?
That is
Like
terrible. Were
in a
these
heartbeat.
single-family homes?
No, they're duplexes. That makes it even worse in a way because it's harder to rent like a duplex than it is a single family, especially if you got problems, and especially if you're trying to sell it, it makes it even worse because usually, like, if you have a slew of problems, you're only going to be able to sell to an investor. To begin with, duplexes are harder to sell to homeowners, but investors never want to pay top dollar either, so they're just going to want to rip you off an arm and a leg, right? I mean,
Hmm.
just think, I mean, we're all investors. You don't want to pay top dollar for anything, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
So for me, I was so screwed. It was to the point it was like the only way an investor will buy your property is if you fire sale it. Like, I sold it for like 100,000 less than what I paid for, right?
Wow. And what
Yeah.
about the properties that are actually working in your favor? I think they're in California. Like, are they
Oh
like
yeah.
single-family home, duplexes? Are they condos? What's the
Yeah,
setup?
they're more townhouses, so there's like an HOA affixed to it. But I mean, it doesn't matter. Like in California, you put a Craigslist ad and you get like 10 or 15 offers that night. I mean, whether to buy or sell, either one doesn't really matter. So it's night and day. It's like here I can manage the California stuff from anywhere in the world, right? I could be in Hong Kong, I could have been in Manila. Just it doesn't matter. They run on autopilot. They pay on time. There's no problems. The rent increases like crazy every year. So it's a gold mine. Like the California stuff is like it's a gold mine. It's like Kirkland Lake. It just only goes up, and you hit your quota and then more, and they're like, oh shit, we just discovered like more high grade zones that are like, I don't know, 300 grams per ton or whatever. You're like, okay, you're kind of like, like at that moment when Kirkland Lake was like $4 and you're debating what producers to go with. Now it's like $30, and you're like, well, shit, I should have just bought more Kirkland Lakes and been able to sleep well at night. It's in first world jurisdictions. It's in Canada, Australia. Like you just best management. It's got Eric Sprott. It's got support. It's like everything you could ever ask for in a gold producer. That's in a nutshell what California's been like for me. I mean, I'm sure you could replicate the model elsewhere, but what I've learned is you want to stick to like the Class A areas because you get the best tenants there who, high income, they can afford rent. There's no drama. If they leave, it doesn't matter. You can just, again, put an ad on Craigslist. You'll get another qualified applicant that makes like 6-figure salary, and they have no problem with any of your demands really, which isn't much, but it goes both ways. You treat them well, they treat you well, and it's just great. It's just the way real estate should be. I mean, if I could do it over again, obviously I just would have stayed in either like California or just go somewhere else, but it's got to be like Class A kind of area where it's kind of the best of the best.